everyone, and welcome to another episode of Daring to Live TV. I am here with the absolutely brilliant Amber Ludwig of Insightful Development, No Guts, No Glory. I'm really excited to have her on here. For any of you who are entrepreneurs, you're absolutely going to want to check out her website. She has got some great information on there on how to build your online platform, which for me is something that I am not all that awesome at. So having Amber in my life has been really fantastic. So Amber, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us today.
No, I'm so excited. Thanks for having me.
Great. So let's start off with the first question. Your company name, NG Enterprises, it stands for No Guts, No Glory. Tell me a bit about what that phrase means to you and how the philosophy helps your clients to get the message out to the world.
Well, it was pretty crazy when I was coming up with my company name, and you want something smart and memorable and exciting, and it just came to me. It was a phrase that my mom used to say all the time when I was growing up, actually. And, my mom is really a fearless type warrior, entrepreneur. She's fantastic, and I really idolize her. And I'm so grateful that she taught me to have that confidence and to lead fearlessly. And I really wanted my clients to learn that same message. And it's really interesting because the hot buzzword on social media this year, I don't know if you've noticed, but it's live fearlessly. And it's really, I know, it's so exciting because your whole event is based around that, but it really is the buzzword. Everybody is wondering how they can overcome fear and how they can, instill that even in their business. And it is really important in your business because it is scary running a business and growing it, and you're constantly faced with new challenges. And so I thought, if I can just have people continue to remember no guts, no glory, you really have to just push through to see that glory. And that's what it was really all about.
I love that because it really is truly for me when I explain to people what fearlessness means to me in my life. It really is about moving through that fear. You got to get through it regardless. And exactly, seeing the glory on the other side. Me and my girlfriend were having a conversation about it on Saturday night, actually. And it was like, you have to push through. But on the other side of that, the clarity that you get, it's refreshing. It's unbelievable what it can do to your life. And you think, oh, it really isn't that bad. So
I know.
That's really...
You always end up thinking that, like, why did I just put myself through all of that stress and fear? This was like not even that bad. But it is hard. It's really scary exposing ourselves. And, we all want to be liked and well received. So, it is. It's something that will always be there. But there are ways to maneuver around it, I think.
Well, I definitely love it. So my hat's off to you on your company name. When you were in high school, you started down a bit of a dark road. So I want to hear a little bit about this and when the moment was that you realized you needed to make some changes.
I did. I had a very challenging time, and it's interesting looking back on that now, having it be a thing of the past. But I can't even say there was any one event that really kicked it off for me. But I all of a sudden went through this really negative, depressing spiral. And I think that ultimately what it was is I was just trying to figure out who I wanted to be and how I wanted to show up in the world. And so I really put myself through the ringer and tested the boundaries of relationships and communication, and didn't get the best grades at first to see what people would think, how would they react, and I was just having a really tough time. And it just, I won't go into lots of details, but I started making some really not great decisions for my life and had some scary moments. And I had a rock bottom moment where I was just hanging out with the wrong crowd, doing the wrong things. And I remember it was this dark, scary moment in my life, just thinking, is this my life? Like, is this the way it's going to be? And I thought, screw that, man. I don't want this to be my life. And I was 16. I mean, I was young. And all of a sudden, once I realized this is not what I wanted, I slowly dug myself out of the hole. I stopped lying to my parents and started rebuilding that relationship. I started improving my grades in school. I graduated with honors. And I just, ever since, I have just been on this mission to make my life as amazing as possible. And I know that I have to constantly improve myself in the meantime, and I just take it on. No guts, no glory. I mean, it totally applies to my life. But yeah, it did start out in a scary way. And I think that we have to experience those rock bottom moments to really, that's what growth is all about. I mean, if I hadn't gone through that, I wouldn't be able to be nearly as grateful for who I am today and how I show up in the world. You know, it's that contrast. It's really important.
Yeah, it's hugely important. And what I really, how I look at my life, I guess, is that there are there are lots of moments throughout the course of my whole life that I've had sort of rock bottom moments. They may not have been, they don't entirely always look the same. They may not
Sure.
be what that definition of rock bottom looks like, but it's that voice that will come to me all of a sudden and say, you need to make some changes. Or, you're ready for more. You're ready to take on, you're ready to take it to the next level, or, to make that step that you need to make. And so it's really interesting when I hear people talk about their rock bottoms, because I think sometimes everyone has it like, that you're down and out. And that might be the case. You might be down and out. But I really think it's more of a sense that that there is more for your life than what currently
Sure.
is. So
Yeah,
that's,
definitely. I'll agree with that.
and definitely that you recognize that at such a young age. I mean, that is something to definitely celebrate, because I think a lot of people aren't aware enough at that age to be able to recognize that. So that's awesome.
Thank you.
How were you able to stick with the changes when you were 16? Because I would imagine that there was a constant influx of those bad, scenarios still out there sort of pulling at you. How were you able to stick with it?
Well, I will say that I think when we truly decide we're done with something, it becomes really easy. When I was 16, I was truly done with that. And so it didn't seem difficult. I didn't feel a lot of resistance to overcome those obstacles. I mean, it was just, I'm not going to hang out with those people anymore, and I'm not going to not care about school anymore. I'm going to make an effort. And that's just what I did. But I can also think of times when I wanted to overcome a habit even, and it was really hard no matter what. I couldn't just stick with it. And I think that, that was maybe an example of a time that I wasn't truly ready to overcome it. And I think it's a great lesson too, because like we talked about earlier, I mean, fear is always going to be in our lives. If it's always going to be there, then, we're always going to have that challenge and that resistance. And I think that learning a way to overcome that is really important. And I'll give you a quick example. For me, what I do anytime I feel all of this doubt coming up, like, oh, I'm going to suck at this, or nobody cares, my idea is bad, whatever it is, I recognize now that that's my inner critic popping up to say hello and distract me and try to get in my way. And I literally almost picture it like a person sitting next to me dancing, trying to distract me. And now I have this separation from that doubt, and I just look at it as just some other obstacle in my way, and I just move right around it, because I know on the other side, once I accomplish that task, I won't feel afraid anymore. And my inner critic will be long gone. And so I will probably always feel fear or doubt in my life, but I think that you just recognize it and move forward anyway. I guess that's how you stick with it. At least that's what I do. Put a name on it.
And I love, you call it inner critic. I have inner mean girls. There's a couple of them in there. They're like a posse of these girls that will come at me sometimes, calling me all sorts of names. And it's funny because I also will go through that sometimes when I recognize them, to say, nope, that's great. Thanks for bringing that to the table, but I'm going to stick over here. So that's awesome. And I know whenever I think of a goal that I want to accomplish, or not even necessarily a goal, but just that the changes I want to make, it's very true that you have to be completely ready. There's been times I've tried to give up sugar thinking this is the last time I'm ever going to eat sugar. And sure enough, 2 days later, I'm popping something chocolatey in my mouth. So clearly I'm not really ready to give up sugar. It's just one of those things that is. Well,
and I think too, if you really look at the reward, what's on the other side of it, that's helped me overcome all sorts of different fears. really visualizing what it's going to feel like on the other side once I accomplish this. And once I feel it in my bones and my soul, and I know it's possible, it's 10 times easier, you know. But I'm with you on the chocolate thing.
I need it most days.
Me too.
So, Amber, I know your passion is to help authors, speakers, and entrepreneurs to build their online business, but you've also shared how you have a passion to help teens with overcoming their obstacles. Tell me a bit about how you got started with that, and how did you end up reaching out?
Well, I discovered my limiting belief when I was 22 years old, my greatest limiting belief. And I discovered it at a Tony Robbins seminar that changed my life forever. And my limiting belief, like many others, is that I'm not good enough.
That's
but that
too.
was that was really new to me. I mean, I was really new in the world of personal development. And so that came to like the ultimate shock, and everything just made sense. The stars aligned. And at the end of that event, I just really thought about how many teens must be going through the same experience. They all do. Come on. They're all trying to figure out how to show up in the world. And so actually at the end of that event, I started writing a book, and I called it A Teen's Journey from Lost to Found. And it was all about my story of literally going from lost to found. And I found myself at that Tony Robbins event. And I had every intention of publishing that book. It's ready to go, but it's not published yet because I'm not ready to show it to the world just yet. I did take a slight detour because I fell into the online world, and I started working with all of these people, entrepreneurs around the world, that just had this burning message they had to get out to the world, but they had no clue how to do it, right? And I'm a tech girl, I've discovered, and so I started building websites and doing coaching and social media, and I'm pretty good at it, I found out, which is really great. And I started helping all of these people, and I thought, well, how cool is that if I help them get their message out? Now they're impacting the world in a bigger way. So, I mean, imagine the impact that I'm having by teaching them how to get their message out, So my business and my company, it's a huge turn on. I'm so excited. I'm very passionate about it. But I will say that in probably the next 5 years, I'm going to transition over to back to the teens. And I already have a whole game plan in place, and I have another book that I'm going to write piggybacking off of the first one that I will publish. And I ultimately want to open up a nonprofit to help teens learn entrepreneurship and communication and all about relationships. And I really think that that's going to be the second leg of my journey in my career. But I have to say, for now, I'm more than fulfilled with what I do now as well. So I'm going to do both.
That's awesome. And I love how you sort of how you it really resonates with me to say that, just by helping them, the ripple effect that it will have in this world and who it can touch and change. And that is absolutely to the core of what I wanted to do with this blog and with my life and this business. It just one person, if they can just see their world differently, the impact that has on so many other people is really, truly rewarding. So I'm so with you on that. It
touches me so deeply every day. Like, I see living proof of it every single day. And it's completely overwhelming in such a good way. I mean, what a gift. It's really nice.
Well, thank you so much, Amber, for spending this time with us and for chatting a little bit about your story. You can find out a little bit more about Amber's story, because I know she goes into some more detail on her website, insightfuldevelopment.com. I'll put it up at the bottom as well. Reach out to her. If you're a business and need help, my goodness, I know that I have gone through for the last 2 years my blog, trying to figure out how to do this and that and Googling things. And, she's a wealth of knowledge. I know that most likely we will be working together in the near future. So, reach out to her, say hello.
Thank you.
We all cannot wait until your book comes out. You will have to let us know when that is, and I'll be the first in line. Awesome. So Amber will be joining us as well for the Fearless Freedom Summit. She'll be there on Saturday. She's flying all the way from Denver to join us. So excited to have her in Vancouver. And she's going to be on our Fearless panel. And so if you do still want to buy tickets, they are available. You can hop online to fearlessfreedom.ca, and we'll be sure to see you there. So thanks everyone for watching. Have a wonderful day. And we'll chat soon. Bye-bye.